Won't give me the new customer discount? Okay. A few years ago, my wife and I purchased our first home in upstate New York. We weren't moving far, just 2 towns over. About a 20-minute drive. Around this same time, our local internet provider was running a promotion for new customers offering 5x the internet speed for roughly half of what we were currently paying. A couple of weeks before our move, I called the internet company to let them know that we were moving and to transfer our service. I asked if it would be possible to receive the new customer discount with the move and was told in no uncertain terms that this was not possible. I insisted that I wanted the new customer rate and even threatened to cancel. But they called my bluff, knowing that they were a monopoly and that I had no other legitimate option. Thinking quickly, I asked if it would be possible to get the new customer rate by simply remove my name from the account and adding my wife's name instead. The representative balked at the suggestion and even quoted from a paragraph from my customer agreement, outlining how such a transfer from one family member to another is not allowed. Then it occurred to me. I asked the representative if he knew my wife's name or the address to which we were moving. After a brief pause, he answered, no. I then happily let him know that I would like to cancel my service, effective at the end of the month. He was adamant that any attempt to circumvent their transfer policy was a violation of my contract, but eventually agreed to the cancellation. 2 weeks later, after our move and a half-an-hour phone call, my wife signed up for our new cheap, fast internet. They jacked our rates up a couple of years later, but it felt good to get just one over on the big bully. Old customer penalty is the phrase of adopted when the call center tries this stupid tactic. Nicely done. I also don't think you violated any contract because by the time your wife signed up, your contract had ended. So his try to threaten you was nothing but hot air lol. Internet, cable monopolies should be illegal. US gave away billions to these companies and we got nothing back in return. Always do that in a household with 2 adults. Every time my new customer promo expires with my ISP, I cancel, effective at end of my current billing cycle. Then my GF signs up as a new unrelated customer, new owner living at our address, and gets best new customer promo available, starting exactly on date of previous account's cancellation. 2 years later, when her promo rate expires, she cancels, and I then sign up as brand new customer. Same method. Details. You have to turn in your old modem at Office of ISP. You need them to formally receive it, and give you receipt stating they received it, to confirm cancellation and avoid mistaken, non-returned equipment charges on their rent-free and cancelled old modem. And when new, free for new customer, modem is sent, installed, rename that new modem and password identically to previous old modem, to avoid resetting up peripherals. I have a tenant on the same property as my house. Somehow, when they opened an account, they screwed up my service. I had to show up at their store in person to try and get it fixed. The guy at the counter was actually really cool about it. He said he couldn't fix my account because he's not sure how it got screwed up, but he would cancel my current account and make me a new one. And since it's a new account, I got the new customer discount again. If you call to cancel and say, I'm moving, or, I'm switching, or anything like that, the poor representative will be fired if they don't go through that part of the retention script. They hate reading it way more than you hate sitting through it. Just say, decline to state, instead. People online will say, tell them you're moving abroad, or, going to prison, or stuff like that, relying on known easy outs in the script. But I really don't see the point. You don't owe them an explanation. Don't give them one. Ah yes, crapcast or time wanna rip you off. Reminds me of a really old internet legend. A chemistry professor at UCLA is conducting a final exam. He is an extremely difficult professor. And a bit of an SOB. He has told his students that all writing must stop when he calls time. Anyone who doesn't stop will automatically fail the exam. The class is in a large auditorium and is required for all chemistry, biology, etc. students. At the end, all the students except one finish as instructed. The one student keeps writing furiously for 30 seconds or so until he is stopped by the professor, who tells him he has failed the exam. The student walks to the front of the room with his blue book and attempts to argue. The professor doesn't budge. So finally the student takes a very arrogant attitude and says, "Do you know who I am?" The professor sneers and says, "No, I don't. And it wouldn't matter." Whereupon the student says, "Great," sticks his blue book into the middle of the stack of blue books already turned in, and runs out of the room. Nice. Meanwhile, I moved into my first apartment. Set up a date to have them come install. Wait all day. No one shows. Call up to ask what gives, and even though all of my information is totally different, they said the previous tenant owed them, so I have to pay it before they set me up. Luckily my in-laws were in an apartment 2 floors above. So my father-in-law just ran extra coax and Ethernet to our apartment off his connection. We tried. Man. Probably the angriest I've been was kind of the opposite situation for me. Unlike most lenders offering honeymoon rates for new lenders, this lender was offering 0.2% off their standard rate after 5 years. A loyalty bonus instead of a new customer bonus. Looked good. So signed up. After the 5 years I got notified of my adjusted rate, and happened to hop onto their site to check. While yes, I was 0.2% under their highest variable rate, I was also 1% above their new borrower rate. I was fuming. So much for loyalty bonus. I tried, but they refused to adjust my rate. But as I was hunting around for a new lender, they happened to post a blog about their rates. I wasn't the only one upset by how much discount new customers were getting over existing. I replied with my situation in their comments, and within 20 minutes they called me to offer me the discount rate. Suddenly, when it was public on the internet, they cared. I work at a call center that handles types of insurance. I get these calls often, and customers would say, "I'll just cancel and reset it up," to which I have to say there was a 3-month cooling off period before they could set the cover up again. I would always say, though, there is a 3-month cool off under your name, so we can't set it up as a new customer under your name, trying to give them the hint to ask a spouse, partner to set it up. Most got the hint, but a few would go ballistic. It's not like I made these stupid rules, but I have to follow them or I get in shit. I even had one person ask me directly if he should get his wife to set it up after he canceled, and I had to really skirt the lines between hinting and saying no. Haha. Damn. That's why I'm happy living in France. We have really low prices for telecom. I pay €22 per month for fiber. 1,000 down, 500 up. And €10 for mobile phone. Unlimited calls, SMS and 80 gigs. And all of these are not timed prices. I can't imagine these contracts with data caps and other shenanigans. I have a Sirius XM radio. I got a deal that was $5 a month for a year, renewing at the current rate after the year. I set up a calendar reminder to cancel a few days before renewal. Called to cancel. When they asked why, I say, "Bekasu, it's worth the percent for month I was paying, but not worth the $17 or so they wanted to charge, with other options like Spotify etc. out there. They agreed to the $5 a month for another year. Repeat after year 2. I'll do it again next year, and if they say no, I'll just cancel them altogether. I don't understand why so many companies punish customers for being loyal. When my old car packed up and my mother gave me her old car, she'd just bought a new one. I had to switch my insurance policy over to the new car. But before I did that, I shopped around and found one that about 20% cheaper than the equivalent policy from my current insurer. When I called my insurer to swap my policy to my new car, I asked if they could beat or at least match the competitor, and they said no. I asked if I could at least get the new customer discount they were offering since I was swapping the policy to a new car. Nope. I pointed out to them that the competitor policy was actually covering me more for the lower price, and that I'd been with this company for 15 years. And said, can you really not offer a discount given that I've been insured with you for so long? Nope. Nothing they could do. So they lost a customer. Spectrum can sod off. Fellow NYER here. They had a monopoly in my small rural town. It was nice to finally have cable and not dial up, but crap, after 2 years the price got ridiculous. After I moved out, my parents didn't bother and just paid. I checked their bill 2 years after moving out and it was $270 for phone, TV, internet, and DVR. Called them up. Talked to someone about lowering the price to the new customer rate of $110. Same crap. It's their premium rate and is comparable to other service. Can't adjust it. Can do a couple months $10 courtesy credit. As soon as I knew the person on the other line wasn't going to be kind or helpful, I kind of went off. Said my parents are senile and won't question the bill. Said I had FiOS. Locked rate of $120 first year and $130 second, same amount of service. TV, phone, internet, but double the internet speed. They transferred me to someone who could help. Talked to the next person. Very kind. Understanding. They got $90 courtesy credit. They got their bill lowered to $140 a month. Such a bad company for loyal, trapped customers. On another note, I asked one of the techs how long it would take to be able to qualify for the new service discount if I disconnected. Tech said, I've had a few people do that. On paper it's 30 days, but in reality you could cancel on a Friday and sign up on Monday and get the new customer discount. What I do is I switch back and forth between cable and FiOS. If FiOS jacks my rates, usually, I just call FiOS and tell them what cable is offering, and they give me the new customer deal. Might help that I spend over $300 a month with them between all my accounts. They don't want to lose my business. And if they do, the other guy is basically just as good. And it's just for the term of a contract. And then it'll be back on Verizon's new customer deal. It worked for years with AT&T until one day it didn't. I needed to change my number and they wanted to charge me a cancellation fee. I said Verizon will give me a rebate for more than the fee. They said okay, have fun with that. So I've since brought over 5 phones and tablets onto my cellular plan, plus 2 houses worth of FiOS. Since then Verizon has always given me the best deals available. Reminds of the joke where the student finished his exam later than everybody. And then the teacher said he couldn't turn in because it was late. Then the student challenged, "Do you know who I am?" Quote. For which the teacher, unamused, said no. Hearing that, the student just put his paper in the middle of the stack and left the room. In our old house, The previous owner had rented out the basement, so that meant the house technically had 2 addresses. Every 2 years when my high-speed internet contract expired, I'd just sign up as a new user on the other address. I did this multiple times over the 10 years we lived there. They jacked our rates up a couple of years later. Yeah, I know which provider that is. Advertises cheap rates. Small print, for 1 or 2 years, but will never ever tell you what the post-introduction price is. Man, this peanuts. I switched ownership of my house to my, at the time, girlfriend, now wife. So when we relocated for work, she was eligible for the full $20K USD package. She gave me half the money. Worked out okay.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.